Today we're taking a look at the Nicehck Octave, a portable dongle DAC amp that retails for $89 and offers both 3.5mm single-ended and 4.4mm balanced outputs, with a claimed 550 milliwatts into 32 ohms on the balanced side. My unit was sent directly to me by Nicehck. I'm not being otherwise compensated for making this review, and as always, my thoughts and opinions are my own. Nicehck was actually one of the first companies to ever send me review samples back when I started reviewing IEMs back in the 2016-2017 timeframe, so it's nice to have them supporting the channel again almost a decade later. As usual, my review will include my objective output and power consumption measurements, and a cited comparison with the Colorfly CDA M2. Alright, let's get into it. I actually misplaced the box for the Octave, so I can't show it on screen, but it does include a nice braided USB-C to USB-C cable with strain relief and color-matched hardware, as well as a USB-C to USB-A adapter, which I haven't tested, but I assume does not include active circuitry to prevent back power, a manual, and a quality control pass chit. I also updated the Octave to the latest firmware available on the Nicehck website before starting my evaluation, which is the first time I've had to update firmware on a dongle in quite a while. The build itself is CNC'd aluminum with chunky design, bold lines, and glass panels on the front and back. There's an indicator light for sample rate, a gain switch, and independent volume controls. I do want to highlight that the Octave supports pause on disconnect for both the 3.5mm and 4.4mm ports when used with Android devices, which is surprisingly rare and great to see. Alright, let's pull up my spreadsheet showing power draw and the Windows system volume required to meet 94 decibels SPL, as measured on my clone 711 coupler using the Moondrop S8. Honestly, power efficiency on the Octave is quite poor compared to the competition. To reach 94 decibels, the Octave draws 0.9165 watts, which is pretty damn high on the balanced output on high gain. And in terms of raw power measured under my usual methodology, the Octave isn't great either. On high gain balanced output, it requires a Windows system volume of 21 to reach 94 decibels with the S8, compared to the Sonic Memory SA500's 14. Honestly, I suspect it might be using a non-standard volume scaling algorithm because with the Moondrop Para using my Sub-Bass Boost EQ preset, which includes a minus 12 dB precut, it only needs a volume setting of 35 out of 100 to reach normal listening levels, which seems pretty good to me. With all that said, it does have an efficient idle mode, drawing just 0.168 watts, which is pretty good. It can get a little warm to the touch with prolonged use, but nothing crazy. Alright, let's talk about my subjective impressions. These were done using the I/O Audio Volare as the transducer, compared under cited conditions to the Colorfly CDA M2, while volume matched to within 0.1 dB. Overall, the Octave has a noticeably more V-shaped tuning than the CDA M2. The Octave has more sub-bass weight, but bass articulation is slightly slower. It also isn't quite as resolving as the CDA M2, and instrument separation is worse overall. Overall clarity also takes a small step back compared to the CDA M2, although the Octave does provide a little bit more bass texture. The Octave delivers slightly more energy to female vocals, which might be problematic with IEMs or headphones that already lean towards sibilance. Treble performance is close between the two devices, but the CDA M2 offers slightly better transient definition. The difference isn't huge, but it is noticeable in direct comparison. To wrap this up, I think you can probably do better at the $90 price point. The Octave sounds perfectly fine, and it does offer some genuinely nice quality of life features like pause on disconnect, but the very poor power efficiency is the Achilles heel of this dongle. If you care about your phone or DAP's battery life, this is going to be a real issue. Alright, that's it for this review. Thanks for watching until the end of the video. I appreciate it more than you know. Until next time, this is Bedrock Reviews, signing off.